The NFL wrapping up the season with some of the worst ratings in recent history. Viewership down 10% for the regular season compared to just last year.
This season was, of course, filled with players protesting the national anthem by taking a knee. But as the season wraps up and playoffs start today, has the league learned its lesson?
Here to discuss it is legendary coach Lou Holtz. You need no introduction, Coach. It is an honor to have you here. What do you make about what has happened with the NFL ratings this year?
Well, they've gone down 10% this year. They were down 8% last year. As I understand it, the NFL said the reason for that is some of our stars were injured. In addition to that there's too much exposure. They've gone to Thursday night football. They say the fans are getting saturated with it. I just took my wife to the Mayo Clinic yesterday. She's having some health problems. The first thing about solving a problem, you have to anticipate and diagnose the problem accurately. For example, if you don't diagnose the problem accurately, you can never really solve it. I think the problem is that the fans are tuning them out because when they tune in football, they want to see the free society work. There's nothing about politics. There's nothing with the officials. It's all about who's going to be the most productive. So I don't think that they've really anticipated what the actual problem is. And until they get to that situation, you cannot solve a problem until you identify
Well,
it.
Coach, can they do that? I mean, ESPN has seen its ratings drop as well as hosts can't resist but get political. I mean, it seems straightforward that the NFL address this anthem issue and maybe let the players play the game, and it might return. So do you think they can get ahead of it going into next season or into the playoffs?
I think they can, but I do think they have to address the problem where people are showing disrespect for the flag. Now, I don't disagree that they have an awful lot of complaints, but football is not the place to do that. When you show disrespect for the flag, you kneel down during the national anthem, and you stand for the national anthem of England, that does upset the people and cause you to say, wait a minute, what's going on?
Well, Lou, first of all, happy birthday, because it's your birthday today.
Well, it is. You're the first one to wish me happy birthday.
Yes.
I went to bed early last night. I told my wife I want to go to bed while I'm still young. Also, my birthday candles cost more than a cake, but thank you for thinking of that.
And we'll keep your wife in our prayers, sir. So my question to you is, if you could sit down with some of these players who are using the football field to protest, what would you tell them?
I would sit down and say, let's really do something that we can make a difference. There are approximately 400,000 words in the English language. The most important word by far is the word choice. Let's get into the inner cities. Let's teach younger people to make better choices. Let's make the changes we can. We can't do everything. We can't do all things, but we can do something. As I used to say to our football team all the time, and I say this about this country, we aren't where we want to be. We aren't where we ought to be. We aren't where we should be. We aren't where we're going to be. But thank God we aren't where we used to be. There's some things wrong, but we've also done an awful lot of good things. Let's be constructive. Let's help younger people.
Coach, real quick, you know, you started this segment by talking about people want to know about football, not politics. That's why the NFL has lost 10% of its ratings. We got to know, since we got you, who's going to win the national championship in college football?
Well, the college football writers, there were 7 of them, predicted who would win the game. 6 of them picked the University of Alabama, and I can see why they do that. Nick Saban is going to be going up against Kirby Smart, who was an assistant coach. Nick Saban's faced an assistant coach 11 times. He's won all 11. The average margin is 14 points. Not this time. Georgia will win this football game. I firmly believe that in the bottom of my heart.
They got a great running game.
When you look at it, they got a great running game, but they also have a very, very good defense. And Jake Fromm, the freshman quarterback, has been fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to play. Last year, there was a young man by the name of Jacob Eason. His dad, Darrell Eason, played football for me at Notre Dame. He set all the records last year. He gets injured in the first game. They go up against Georgia. They put in Jake Fromm, and it's like Wally Pipp saying, I don't feel good today. Let that Lou Gehrig play in my place.
Coach, I got to be selfish and ask, over 2 decades ago, it was rumored you might be the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Maybe we would have won a Super Bowl by now if that had happened, Coach. But we've got a great squad this year. Do you think my team can finally do it after 50 years of futility?
Well, what's really amazing, there are 4 teams that have been to the Super Bowl, or 2 teams been to the Super Bowl 4 times, lost all 4. The Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings.
It's true.
I think the Vikings have a great chance. And this is the first time that I think the home team has an excellent chance to play in the Super Bowl. And the reason, they're the number 2 seed. They have an open date. Philadelphia's number 1 seed. However, Philadelphia lost their quarterback, Carson Wentz. He isn't going to be able to play. So I think Minnesota's going to play both games at home. And if they win both games, which they're very capable of doing, I think they can win the Super Bowl. And here's the amazing thing. You had Bridgewater, the quarterback, get injured, so you trade for Sam Bradford. He gets injured, and you go with Case Keenum on that note, and he leads you to victory.
Coach, did he give you an early birthday present? Because you're pandering to him in the Minnesota Vikings.
Happy birthday.
We've got to leave it there, Coach. Happy birthday.
birthday.
And thanks for joining us this morning.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
All right.